Welcome to the Proposal Builder app, your all-in-one solution for managing proposals efficiently and driving insights for better decision making. Let's start by exploring the dashboard designed to give proposal managers a clear, actionable overview at a glance. Here we have the active proposals view, displaying all ongoing proposals in real time. You can see, for instance, critical information such as the proposal name, the customer, the status, and even different information about the proposals. You can see in my case that I have only three proposals that have different statuses. So one of the proposals I'm working on is the City Power and Light CRM implementation. You can see that the status is still in draft mode. Next, we have the proposals funnel. This visually represents the status of proposals as they progress through stages like draft, internally approved, or under review. You can see this is something that is displayed in colors. And next to it, we see also the top customers by proposals. So it highlights which customers accounts for the largest share of proposals. So in my case, you can see with green, we have Contoso Pharmaceuticals. If we hover with the mouse, we can see, for instance, that total project cost is about 7,000. At the bottom, if I scroll a little bit down, I can see on the left-hand side my activities the next 7 days, which gives me a snapshot of my tasks and deadlines for the upcoming week. Whether it's revising a proposal, scheduling a meeting, or making a follow-up call, this section ensures nothing falls through forgotten. And finally, we have the active estimations view, which provides a detailed breakdown of proposal estimations, including more details about the total hours, the project costs, different calculations. So this allows me to monitor the estimations, even if I'm working with estimations of other colleagues. So as a summary, this proposal management dashboard allows me to see a good overview of what is happening in my organization and focus on work. Now let's walk through the key sections and features that streamline the entire proposal lifecycle, and I will open my draft proposal. At the top, we can see that there is a proposal name and an intuitive business process flow that tracks the proposal through its key stages from initiate to the submission. So for me as a user, this ensures every step is clearly defined and the progress is easily monitored. Additionally, I have some header information about the key metrics of my proposal, such as the total project days, the total costs, and who is the proposal owner. Next, if we look at the form, we can see some information about my proposal, who is my customer, the status, and we can see that we have different statuses here. Maybe if I have a primary contact, it's possible to add someone here. So for instance, I'm selecting John Doe as my primary contact from the customer for this proposal. Then for me, as a proposal manager, it's important to have also project scope to define it. And for my colleagues, there are some internal remarks about the proposal. Just to give you an example, maybe we have some information about some features that the customer is interested in and we want to add some notes about, or perhaps maybe we have some information about what the customer is looking on. If we look a little bit down, it's important also to note the key milestones. So for the proposal, we definitely have a submission date. We have a final review date, which needs to be set. And sometimes we know from the beginning when the customer wants to start the project, and we can have also a tentative project end date. Actually, this kind of milestones can be easily added from the business process flow. So if I click the initiate phase, you can see that some of the important milestones were added here. If we know them and we fill them out, we can go, for instance, in the next stage, which is the documents review. This is a stage where I'm reviewing the customer documentation and maybe I can also set a final review date. I already did it for this, so I made my homework, but perhaps now the decision internally is if we go or if we don't want to propose for this customer. And that's why we have this go, no go decision step. So it's important to discuss it internally to see what options we have, what the customer requires, and if this is a good fit for us as a company, then we can decide to go and propose. Once this is finalized, we can move to a next stage. And the next stage is to provide some estimates to the customer. So estimation is a core part of any proposal. With the estimations sections, you can either create detailed costs and effort estimations, and I can show you how you can do it very easily. At the moment, you can see that the estimations grid is empty, but for me as a proposal manager, it's really easy to create a new estimation. And for this, we have the create estimation from template button. I will click it. And once I click it, you can see that on the screen immediately I have a window. On the left-hand side, I can see the estimation templates that are available to choose from. So for instance, I have this Dynamics customer service implementation, and I can see some calculations that are provided on the basis of the template. If I want to choose another template that actually in this case we have a CRM implementation, so I will choose the dynamic sales template. You can see that there are other metrics that are summarizing the total hours. Maybe I already calculated based on this template the total project management hours, total design hours, or other type of hours that I want to use in order to build an estimation based on this estimation template. We will see in a later video how you can create these estimates in order to create templates in this proposal manager app. But for the moment, let's create the estimation for my proposal. And in order to do it, I will click the create estimation button. Once I do it, I see a notification that a new estimation is being created in the background, so I can close this window. If I wait a couple of seconds and I refresh, so what I can do next is to double click this estimation, and this will land me to the estimation form. On this estimation form, I can see immediately some information about this estimation. For instance, I can see the name. I can see that, for instance, this was a copy from the sales estimation copy. If I want to see more details about this estimation, maybe do some edits, I can double click this estimation and this will land me to the estimation form where I can see what is the name. You can see that this estimation was copied from a template. I can change the name if I want. You can see that it was linked to my proposal on the basis of this lookup field. I can see some details about what was the estimation template, what was the original estimation that this estimation record was created on, and there are some important information about the milestones. So these are um, visible on the estimation as well. If I'm looking down, you can see also the versioning information. So it's important to work with estimation versions. At the moment, this estimation is the first version. It's still in draft mode. And yes, this is the last and only version that we get. If we look a little bit down, you can see that the estimation details got copied from the estimation templates. If I want to make some changes, now it's possible to go to the estimation detail. For instance, let's take this analysis effort, double click it, and this will land me to the estimation detail form. So by looking at the estimation details, we can see that we have the estimation detail name, which is an analysis effort. This is linked to my estimation that I'm working on, and also linked to an estimation factor, which is actually the origin of work. So based on the estimation factor, we have these numbers here. So this estimation factor is serving as a template for the estimation detail. Maybe it sounds complicated, but imagine that you are delivering Microsoft Dynamics projects and you know as an average how much does it take to analyze an effort or to customize let's say, the opportunity form. It's possible to start with a standard estimation factor, add some hours there, and then when you are creating estimation details and estimations based on templates, you will work with that average. And if we drill a little bit down and looking at the estimations, for instance, for this analysis effort, we have, uh, for instance, 4 hours for the design. We don't need any customizations or coding. And actually, we also have a project management percentage of 20%. Actually, this is flexible. So if you say maybe we need only 10%, it's possible to have it like this. If I say the project management hours are automatically calculated, and based on all of the hours that I have, the total estimation details are also recalculated. What's not possible to be done is to say, okay, I don't have a PM percentage and PM hours are 0. So in this case, we need some project management. So either we have a PM percentage which is greater than 0, one is also acceptable, or maybe we say for this analysis effort, we estimate that we need a project manager for 3 hours. And then we save, and then we don't have this error anymore. So by looking at these hours, uh, usually design hours means someone with experience. Maybe you have a consultant with experience, a business consultant, an architect, which is working on designing what's required. Um, Customization hours, I think this is something very easy to understand. So someone who is implementing, so if you have like a form or a view customization, then you have someone working and you can estimate. Then we have the coding hours. Now, depends on your organization. Maybe you have pro code developers or low code developers. It's up to you how you want to build these hours. Training hours, typically, we have some estimation details towards training to the end users, to the key users or admins. So in this case, you are using these training hours. Documentation hours is something that you provide to your customer. Maybe you have some estimation details that require to create a TDD, so a technical design document, or maybe an architecture, or maybe you are documenting something in DevOps or Jira and you want to have the documentation hours also estimated, and about PM, so project manager percentage or the PM hours. This is something that you can choose on. So by default, you can set, for instance, that you have a percentage of 20% project management of all of your estimation details. Or if you don't like this approach, it's pretty flexible. You can say you can have PM hours as a manual in terms of hours. So in my case, I have added here 3 hours. Then the project management hours are calculated, and at the end we have the total estimation detail hours that are summarizing all the hours that we have above. There's another important aspect about the estimation detail, and usually we have estimation details tied with an estimation factor, and this estimation factor, like I said, it serves as a template for my estimation detail. You can see on the right hand side that we have a phase and a subphase. So in my case, the analysis effort is something that we are doing at the beginning of the project. So we have the discovery phase, which is tied to the current system assessment subphase. But before showing you the versioning process, I want to update the name of it. So I don't need, for instance, now the template. Let's say that this is the first version of my estimation. I'm saving the new name. And because maybe when working with proposals, we have different versions of it. There is a versioning system. So what I can do next is to click this clone button. So what's happening in the background? Actually, this estimation is copied to a new version, and this estimation will be marked as not being the last version anymore. But when I'm versioning an estimation, there are multiple things that are happening. So first, on the previous estimation, in my case, version 1, it gets inactivated and the versioning status is set to revised and the last version is set to no. So this is not anymore the last version. And if I'm going back to my proposal and I'm scrolling down to my estimations, you can see that I have a new estimation, which is the new version. So a new estimation gets created. You can see that the name automatically is set to the next version. In my case, this is version 2. And the new version is based on the previous version, so which in my case was version 1. You can see that the hours were copied from the previous version. And if I'm opening the new version estimation, you can see details. For instance, what was the template? So the origin was the same sales template, but you can see that the original estimation was version 1 in my case. And the new version is set to the status draft, but in my case, see that estimation version number is incremented by 1, and this is marked as is last version 2 yes. So if you have complicated proposals or maybe you have different persons working on different versions, it's possible to use this versioning system in order to make adjustments and have different estimations that are linked to the same proposal. And you don't have to manually set the estimations, is last version no or yes, or maybe change the versioning number. So this is done automatically by the system. We can see that the metrics, so the totals got calculated automatically. So if we're looking at the header, we have the total project days, total project costs based on the new version. If we're looking to the proposal, so you can see that the header information are there. So we have information about the total project days, the total project costs got recalculated automatically. And if we are scrolling, you can see that now we have two estimations. Uh, one of them, the version 2, which is active, the other one is inactive. And actually, what you see on the proposal totals are the active estimation total. So just for the sake of the example, maybe you have different estimations that are part of the same proposal. So perhaps maybe you have an estimation for the dynamic sales module, another estimation for customer service, maybe you have a general for a workshop. So you have three estimations. It's possible to add the totals, aggregate them on a proposal. And imagine that maybe for the dynamic sales implementation, you have different versions. Only one of those versions is active, usually the last one. And the totals that you see on the proposal level are always the sum of all active estimations that are also marked as last versions. And just to detail a little bit, so I'm scrolling a little bit down, so you can see the work effort. We have here the aggregate values for the total project management, the total design, total customization hours, and also the project hours and project days. These are decimal fields that are calculated automatically based on the summarization of all active estimations that are related to this proposal. And as you can see, fields marked as read-only because we don't have to make manual changes. All of these values are aggregations of the estimations. For each proposal, it's flexible to set a currency. In my organization, I have euros and Swiss francs, but this is the standard field, so you have the possibility to use any currency that the system, Dynamics or Power Platform allows you to do. Then you can also set a daily rate. In my case, I have 1,300 euros, but this is flexible. It can be adjusted to another value. And as you can see, it takes the currency that you selected for this proposal. Then there is another field where you have the licensing costs, and based on the values, so the daily rate is multiplied by the total project days, and then the licensing costs are added on top of it. Then we have the total implementation costs. Now, because I adjusted the daily rate, you can see that the total implementation cost get a little bit down, and also the total project cost was updated. Good. So now we finalized the estimations. Maybe it's time also to select some team members. So you have different persons working on your proposal. Typically, this is a step you can do from the beginning. So maybe we have the amazing Spider-Man, which is working as a solution architect for my proposal. Then you can select different persons who have different roles during the proposal process. Maybe you have a proposal manager, a delivery manager, an approver, and you can also select some project team members who will deliver the project. So if I'm working, for instance, with a new team member, let's say we have myself, and I'm playing the role of a solution architect. Once the proposal is won, I can select myself here, and then on your proposal, you can see what members are part of the proposal deal team and what team members are um, seen as a delivery resource later if the proposal, of course, gets won. So until now, you saw how you can create a new proposal, and for this proposal, you can create estimates based on estimation templates. We also saw together how you can create different versions of the estimation and how you can aggregate the totals on an estimation level, but also you have the totals on a proposal level. Like we said, you can have multiple estimations as different mini projects or different blocks of the same proposal, and you can see the total work efforts that are aggregated on the proposal. Now let's move on and show you a little bit what is the framework setup for the proposals and estimations. So as you can see in my organization, I have different estimation factors. I have a total of 173. Of course, depending on what you're implementing, you will have different estimation factors. For instance, if I'm going to the discovery phase, I see that I have some workshop preparations, some workshops for the business requirement gathering or for the stakeholder analysis. If I'm moving to a design phase, depending on the technologies that I'm implementing, in my case, there's a lot of dynamics. You can see that I have different type of dynamics factors, but because I'm maybe an Azure partner as well, you can see that I have, for instance, the Azure Resource Provisioning Blueprint or a data lake and storage architectural design. So it's up to you how you can build these building blocks. At an end of the waterfall project, we'll have like the rollout and the post-implementation factors. For instance, for a rollout at the end of the project, we'll have some trainings, we'll offer some hypercare to our customer, and maybe we also want to have some rollouts planning sessions. But like I said before, so these are also applicable to a more agile way of delivering projects. So if you prefer to organize the phases and also the sub-phases in sprints, it's up to you how you define these values. What I want to show you as well is, for instance, how you can relate different deliverables, these estimation factors, to some technologies. So let's look for opportunity, and you can see that we have different opportunity estimation factors. Let's take the opportunity management. So you can see this opportunity form customization estimation factor is linked to the implementation phase and to the opportunity management subphase. We have some default estimates of it, like I said, and if you scroll down, you can see that this technology or the technology that is linked to this estimation factor is dynamic sales, because typically we have opportunity form customization to this dynamic sales implementation. You can add existing technologies, you can have your own technologies defined. In my case, I defined only a few of them. You can see that everything is dynamic centric. So we have the customer insights, customer service, field service, sales, but of course we have also some machine learning, some power apps. It's really easy to create new technologies and then link the estimation factors with those technologies. And last but not least, we have the team members. So on a proposal, you saw that we have the option to have some related proposal team members. So if I'm looking at the Amazing Spider-Man, so he's a developer, he's not a user. And actually, you can see that what are the proposals where the Amazing Spider-Man was added. So we have here two proposals. The Amazing Spider-Man is he's very capable, has different roles. So perhaps maybe he's a consultant and or even he's a solution architect. And you can also see if we scroll a little bit down, also the projects where the Amazing Spider-Man was added to. So you can see that he's playing the role of a developer for this Contoso proposal, but actually the roles can differ based on the requirements, based on the capacity and availability of your resources. Let's wrap up by highlighting the key benefits of the Proposal Builder app. It makes creating and managing proposals easier with clear workflows and reusable templates. You can track changes with versioning and quickly update tools for accurate estimates. So the app is flexible with customizable phases and subphases and reusable estimation factors that fit your business needs. Whether you use it as a Power App standalone or together with Microsoft Dynamics 365 Sales, Proposal Builder helps your team work faster and smarter. Thank you for learning about the Proposal Builder app. I'm excited to see how it can help your business succeed in winning more proposals.